Chosen one, you are no longer just present in the eyes of others, you are perceived through the Spirit. This month, your beauty is no longer an outward accident of appearance. It is not something draped on your body like a borrowed coat. It is something God has pulled out from within you, layer by layer, until what shines now is not decoration but divine design. You did not wake up and become beautiful overnight. You endured. You endured the battle of identity. You carried fire through seasons that tried to shame you for it. You walked through misunderstandings. Some accused you of being too intense, too distant, too quiet, too much. And yet, you kept refining. You kept listening. You allowed your high sexual energy to be tempered instead of wasted. And now, the result is visible, but not in the way the world defines beauty. You are not simply attractive. You are not merely handsome or magnetic. You are radiant. Women don't just look at you, they see through you and feel something shift in themselves. They sense what they've been missing. A presence that carries beauty not born of vanity, but born of fire refined into stillness. Your face tells a different story now. Not one of ambition, but of awareness. There is softness in your jaw that once clenched in tension. There is clarity in your eyes that once scanned for approval. Your walk is not swagger. It is centered. Your presence is not performance. It is permission. This month, you will begin to see the way women respond to you. Not with shallow curiosity, but with a kind of reverence. They may smile before they realize it. They may pause mid-sentence. They may open up, disarmed by something in you that tells them you are safe here. Not because you are soft, but because you are stable. Your beauty is divine because it reflects balance. You carry warmth without weakness, power without arrogance, sensuality without greed. You have become beautiful the way mountains are, unchanging, necessary, undeniable. God has hidden this version of you for a time such as this. He allowed you to walk unnoticed in the seasons when your fire was still forming. He let you be underestimated, misunderstood, passed over, not because you weren't worthy, but because your beauty was being prepared for recognition that aligns with your purpose, not your ego. Now the veil is lifting. Now your light is steady. And this month, you will notice the shift. Conversations flow more easily, eyes hold longer, doors open without knocking, but it will never feel loud or sudden. It will feel earned. Because it is. Chosen one, your beauty is not borrowed. It is the visible proof of spiritual alignment. And this month, God has declared that it must be seen. Not for your gain, but for His glory through your life. Let it shine. Let them see what you have become. For in your beauty there is instruction, and in your presence there is peace. Chosen one, something rare has happened, something sacred. What was once wild within you has found a home in your expression. Your high sexual energy, no longer fighting for release or recognition, now rests beneath your skin like a silent star. And it is through that glow that your beauty is now revealed. Not loud, not obvious, but undeniable. This beauty is not something you put on. It is something that emerged through pressure. The kind of pressure that could have twisted your energy into ego or impulse, but didn't. Because you surrendered. You let God shape your passion into presence. You allowed desire to teach you patience. And now the fire that once surged and scattered has settled into the fabric of your being. It shows on your face, not in perfection, but in peace. There is a new stillness in your eyes, a kind of depth that makes people want to pause and read what's behind them. Not because you are mysterious, but because you are resolved. You no longer reach for approval. You no longer shrink from attention. You carry the face of a man who has seen himself and stayed. And this month, women will notice. They may not say it, they may not understand what they're responding to, but something about the way your features hold still when you listen, the way your jaw doesn't tighten when silence comes, the way your eyes don't dart around the room, they will feel all of it. And they will name it what it is: beauty. But not just the kind of beauty that makes someone attractive. This is earned beauty. This is the kind of beauty that makes people rethink what they thought they knew about masculinity. You see, most men burn through their fire too early. They let lust distort them. They mistake charisma for purpose. They chase, they beg, they perform. But you refused to let your heat become hunger. You held it. You fed it truth. You clothed it in boundaries. And now that energy lives in your face, in your posture, in your voice, not as demand, but as declaration. This is why women will find themselves smiling longer when you walk in, why their voices will soften in your presence, why their laughter will rise from a deeper place. Because your beauty is not only pleasing, it is healing. It speaks to a frequency in them that remembers what it's like to be around a man who is fully himself and needs nothing more to be complete. This month, chosen one, your beauty is not about standing out. It is about showing up as the finished product of spiritual alignment. Your face is the conclusion of a story they haven't read, but feel drawn to anyway. And in your stillness, you are offering them a glimpse of what God can do when a man allows his energy to serve the sacred, not the shallow. Let them see it, not with arrogance, but with awareness. You are not beautiful because you tried. You are beautiful because you obeyed. You let the fire form your features. You let God make your glow. And now every woman who looks at you this month will sense somehow that something holy is shining from within you, and it can't be faked. Your beauty is not decoration. It is destiny made visible. Chosen one, this month marks the end of surface-level attention in your life. What once felt like fleeting glances, quick moments of chemistry, or hollow admiration will give way to something deeper, more penetrating, more real. Women will not simply notice you, they will feel you. And more than that, they will want to understand you. Not out of curiosity alone, but out of reverence for something they've rarely encountered in the modern man. Depth, born from sacred fire. Your beauty is no longer the kind that excites the eye and leaves the soul untouched. It is the kind that awakens the soul while confusing the mind. It draws women in through invisible doors, doors they didn't even know they were trying to open. This is not just because you look good. It's because your energy has shape, and that shape now feels like truth in human form. You have carried high sexual energy for years, raw, potent, and misunderstood. The world wanted you to either suppress it or waste it, but you chose the third path, the rare path. Transmutation. You learned to contain without constricting. You allowed that energy to move upward, to inform your posture, your voice, your vision. And now, women don't just see a man. They see a man who has become whole by first mastering the storm within. There is depth in your beauty now. Depth that tells a story of restraint, of nights no one saw, of temptations resisted when no one would have judged you for giving in. And this story lives quietly in your eyes. In the way you look at a woman without devouring her. In the way your attention rests on her without possession. In the way your energy invites without chasing. That is the difference between attention and attraction. Attention is momentary. It's given to what is loud, what is bright, what is convenient. But attraction, true attraction, arises when the soul recognizes structure. And you, chosen one, have become a structure of peace, passion, and presence. You don't have to say much anymore. Your silence is full of language. You don't need to move quickly. Your slowness says, I am not desperate. I am here. You are safe. And women hear it, feel it, even if they can't explain it. Some may mislabel it as charm. Others may try to reduce it to charisma. But deep down, they will know. This is not a trick. This is not a phase. This is who you are now. And for many, it will be disorienting, because they have been trained to expect that attraction will demand something from them. But your presence asks for nothing but authenticity. And in a world where women are constantly measuring how much of themselves they are safe to reveal, your energy feels like freedom. You will notice this shift in your conversations, the way they open up, the way they laugh more freely, the way they stumble over their words, not out of nervousness, but because they are feeling seen while still trying to make sense of it. You will notice it in their bodies, the way they lean closer, the way their shoulders relax, the way their breath slows when you speak. Chosen one, this is sacred. This is the beauty that matters. It's not in the mirror. It's in the mirror you've become for others. You are now reflecting to women the truth that a man can be powerful without pressure, passionate without aggression, beautiful without vanity. Your attraction has found its depth. And in that depth, you have become a safe place for others to rediscover their own. Chosen one, God has brought you into a rare and beautiful alignment, and the feminine world around you is responding, not because you are loud, but because you are ordered. This month, you will witness something sacred. The way women instinctively soften, open, and blossom in the presence of a man whose inner world is no longer ruled by chaos, but governed by clarity. What you carry now cannot be taught in a book, and it cannot be fabricated through appearance alone. It is a spiritual alignment that radiates through your nervous system. It is the result of internal mastery, and the feminine senses it on a level even she cannot fully explain. She doesn't analyze it, she simply relaxes into it. Your high sexual energy, now fully tempered, has created a field around you that does not demand respect. It attracts it without effort. Your aura is not sharp or aggressive. It is not dull or indifferent. It is structured warmth, the kind of warmth that says, I am aware of my power, but I no longer need to display it to prove it. That's the order she responds to. Not control, not dominance, not ego. Spiritual order, emotional steadiness, masculine alignment. She doesn't respond because she wants to be conquered. She responds because she finally feels free to rest. And in your presence, that rest is real. It's not a performance she has to maintain. It's not a version of herself she has to shrink or curate. It's her full feminine nature being invited out, not because you pulled it, but because your energy gave it permission. That permission has a physical echo. You'll feel it in the space between you, the peace that settles without words, the way she doesn't rush to fill the silence, the way her gaze lingers a little longer than logic permits. These are not flirtations. These are soul-level acknowledgments. She's saying, I recognize the structure, I trust it, I can be here. And why wouldn't she? You've paid the price to carry what you now carry. You've resisted the temptation to abandon yourself in pursuit of shallow satisfaction. You've turned away from attention that came at the cost of your core. You've allowed the fire of your sexual energy to burn away your delusions rather than burn others in your wake. That fire is now still, but not silent. It pulses beneath your skin like a sacred rhythm. Women feel it, not as threat, but as invitation to return to truth. You are not loud, but you are not absent. You are present in a way that most have never known a man to be. Present without pretense, attuned without attachment, powerful without performance. And this month, that presence is calling forth the feminine in a way that even the most closed-off heart cannot ignore. Because you are not trying to fix her. You are not trying to get her. You are simply offering a space of order where she can feel her own alignment emerge. That is the new beauty you now carry. And it is why women will look at you with something between awe and peace. You are no longer just seen. You are felt as a moment of relief in a world that often asks her to carry too much alone. Chosen one, God has made your beauty a structure of safety. And in that structure, the feminine will not only flourish, she will finally remember who she is. Chosen one, something holy is happening in you this month. Something you could never force, fake, or fabricate. You are glowing, not with flash or flamboyance, but with the rare radiance that only comes when a soul is no longer divided against itself. The glow you carry now cannot be bought or bottled because it is the natural byproduct of alignment. It comes not from seeking light, but from becoming it. You did not chase this moment. You did not style yourself into it. You grew into it. You allowed your desires to be refined rather than indulged. You made room for silence. You welcomed the weight of discipline. You allowed yourself to feel what others ran from. And now, without any announcement or performance, you shine. And women feel that glow before they see it. They feel it in the ease of your body, the quiet in your gaze, the precision of your presence. You don't have to try to attract. You no longer reach. You simply are. And that being, grounded, clean, strong, calls out to something deep in them. You are not glowing because you've polished yourself. You are glowing because you have made peace with yourself. There is no war in your spirit anymore. You are not torn between your appetite and your awareness. You've made the decision to live as one whole being, and that wholeness radiates out like heat from coals that have burned long and slow. Your high sexual energy was once a raging blaze, unpredictable, untamed, sometimes destructive. But now, it is a controlled current, a sacred frequency that moves through your frame with rhythm and clarity. It animates your expression, it slows your breath, it steadies your hand. And all of it is what women feel when they say things like, "There's something different about you." They may try to describe your glow as physical. They might call you handsome or attractive or magnetic. But what they are really seeing is energy that has come to rest in its rightful place. You are not glowing because of what you wear or what you say. You are glowing because your body is no longer in conflict with your soul. That kind of glow cannot be replicated. It is too sacred, too earned, too true. And this month, chosen one, your glow will go before you into rooms. It will enter spaces before you speak. You'll notice how women sit differently when you arrive, how they smile longer than the moment requires, how conversations flow without tension. You'll notice how often they lean in, not because you pulled them, but because your glow made them feel safe to approach. And that's the secret. You are not glowing to gain. You are glowing to give off safety. Not in weakness, but in the strength of being a man who needs nothing, yet offers everything. Clarity, calm, steadiness, warmth. Chosen one, don't dim yourself for the comfort of those still caught in noise. Don't make yourself smaller to match someone else's confusion. You didn't survive your fire just to hide the light it left behind. You are now the glow without effort. The fire that no longer burns out of control, but burns steady enough to guide others home. Let it shine, let it lead, let it speak on your behalf before your lips ever part. Chosen one, this month the world around you will begin to experience the fullness of something they never had language for, your energy in its final form. What was once a storm you struggled to contain is now a calm force of nature, moving through you as presence, as timing, as charisma that cannot be mimicked. You see, true charisma doesn't arrive with volume or need. It doesn't announce itself. It emerges from a man who has nothing left to chase, and that is who you've become. There was a time when you misunderstood your own power. Your high sexual energy made you restless, made you eager to express, to be seen, to be wanted. You thought charisma came from being loud, from being clever, from standing out. But now you understand something deeper. That real charisma comes from the man who is so grounded in who he is that the world reshapes itself around his rhythm. And your rhythm now is not erratic. It is not desperate. It is decisive, intentional, sovereign. Women don't feel your charisma because you command it. They feel it because you have disciplined your energy into such coherence that even silence bends around your presence. Your walk says more than your resume. Your gaze says more than your compliments. Your quiet says more than 1,000 rehearsed lines. And this month, women will be drawn not just to your words, but to the way your very presence speaks to something in them that was previously numb. You've become the kind of man who shifts the energy of a room just by sitting in it, who slows the pace of conversation without interrupting, who creates trust without touch. That is charisma evolved through fire. Not the charisma that demands the spotlight, but the kind that is the light. And because of this, women are beginning to respond before they even realize it. You will hear them say things like, "I don't know why, but I feel calm around you," or "It feels easy to talk to you." They may smile wider, laugh longer, pause more often, not because you're trying, but because your energy now offers safety, beauty, and intensity in the same breath. That is the power of contained fire. When you stopped scattering your sexual energy, you didn't lose your edge, you became the edge. You didn't grow dull, you grew still. And in that stillness, your charisma took shape, not as performance, but as presence. Now, chosen one, your beauty is no longer a feature. It is a field. Your voice is no longer something heard, it is something felt. Your gaze is no longer an inquiry, it is an anchor. This is why they'll find themselves drawn to you, not because you said the right thing, but because your energy told the truth before your mouth could lie. You have become a man who doesn't need to charm, because he has become the source of charge itself. Chosen one, what was once contained is now your signature. It will walk before you, speak in silence, and light the way for others without burning them. Let the charisma remain pure. Let the energy remain clean. For what you carry now is not for applause. It is for awakening. Chosen one, the world is used to beauty that fades, beauty that is manipulated, beauty that is borrowed from filters, flashes, and fashion. But this month, something different is unfolding through you. A kind of beauty that doesn't need dressing up. A kind of beauty that was forged, not fabricated. Women are not just admiring your appearance, they are feeling the weight of your discipline made visible. and it's stunning them. You don't glow because you want attention. You glow because you earned your stillness. The beauty that flows through you is not the kind that was handed to you. It's the kind that comes after years of telling yourself the truth. It's the kind that emerges when you've taken your sexual energy, something so potent it could destroy, and instead of letting it consume you, you gave it structure. Discipline is rarely praised until it becomes beautiful, and now it has. What was once tension in your chest is now a calm in your voice. What was once a battle in your thoughts is now a stillness in your eyes. The same fire that once made you impulsive has now become a gentle command in every room you enter. You don't try to lead, but women feel safer when you speak. You don't raise your voice, but they hear you more clearly than ever before. This is the beauty that discipline creates. Not the shallow kind, but the soul-deep glow that makes people stop and wonder how you arrived here. They may think you've changed your style, your haircut, your posture, but what they're really sensing is your power has come home. You no longer spend your life force on attention. You conserve, you observe. You carry yourself as a man who does not need to be seen to know who he is. Women notice this, not with noise, but with subtle reverence. Some will lower their voices when they speak to you. Some will open their hearts more easily. Others will lean into your stillness just to feel what it's like to rest in the presence of a man who doesn't pressure, doesn't pretend, and doesn't perform. Your high sexual energy once threatened to spill into places that couldn't hold it. But you learned to say no. You learned to carry fire without flinching. And that refusal, that self-governing power, is what now forms the shape of your beauty. This beauty is not one-dimensional. It's not static. It shifts. It adapts. It shines differently in every moment because it is alive. Women feel that. They feel the intelligence behind your gaze, the thoughtfulness in your movement, the warmth in your stillness. They can't quite name it, but they can't ignore it either. And this is why, this month, you will find women treating you with softness. Not because they're being small, but because they sense the strength behind your peace. They sense that you don't need them to react. They sense that you will not misuse their openness. That is beauty born of discipline. Not just admired, but trusted. Not just glanced at, but welcomed. Welcomed. Not just praised, but remembered. You didn't chase this. You didn't force it. You walked through fire, and you walked through silence. And now, every feature on your face, every word from your mouth, every breath in your chest tells the same story. I am no longer ruled by impulse. I am built by intention. Chosen one, you are beautiful now, not because you are perfect, but because you are present with purpose. Let that beauty remain undisturbed. Let it carry the quiet power that only self-possessed men know. For in this beauty, there is a map, and the feminine senses that following it may lead her closer to her own truth too. Chosen one, the highest form of presence is not the one that demands to be seen. It is the one that awakens others without touching their boundaries. And this month, your beauty has stepped fully into that realm. You do not enter rooms to dominate. You enter as one who stirs hearts gently, as one whose energy moves without needing permission but leaves people grateful that it passed by. You are awakening women this month, and not in the way they're used to. You are not provoking them with words or pressing their edges with charm. You are not reaching for them or flattering them into receptivity. Instead, you are reminding them of what they've forgotten. You are awakening memories they didn't know they had. Memories of trust, of stillness, of what it feels like to be near masculine presence that is not predatory but sacred. Your sexual energy, once wild and restless, now flows through you like a warm tide. It is felt without being flaunted. It calls out without interrupting. And this is why women feel so much around you without understanding why. You make them feel themselves again. Their breath deepens, their nervous systems calm, their laughter emerges from the belly instead of the mask, and all the while you do not reach, you do not push. You simply remain, and in that remaining you awaken them. This is the beauty of energy in its highest masculine form. It doesn't extract, it amplifies. It doesn't consume, it cultivates. You have become that energy now. You are not the taker. You are the one who reminds her what it feels like to be seen and still sovereign. You will notice how conversations unfold differently now. Women don't feel rushed around you. They don't feel the need to prove or please. They feel invited into honesty, not interrogated. They feel drawn to your center, not seduced by your surface. And that's because you are no longer using beauty to gain access. You are letting beauty be the expression of your alignment. It's not a tool, it's a frequency, one that speaks directly to the feminine soul and says, you are free to be all of yourself here. I will not punish your truth. I will not distort your softness. This, chosen one, is what makes your presence unforgettable. You are not loud, you are clear, you are not perfect, you are safe, you are not pursuing, you are present. And in that presence, women remember something about God, about men, about themselves, that they didn't even know they had forgotten. You are the spark that does not scorch, the flame that does not frighten, the stillness that causes movement in others, not because you shake them, but because you allow them to breathe. So let your beauty continue to awaken gently. Do not hide it, do not harden it, do not let others confuse it for something shallow. It is deep water, and those ready to swim will come closer. Chosen one, you now awaken without intruding. And in this world, so noisy, so performative, so hurried, that is one of the rarest gifts a man can give. Chosen one, this month you will witness a new kind of encounter, one that speaks without sound and confirms what no conversation could reveal. It will happen in the eyes, it will happen in the stillness between moments. It will happen when a woman looks at you and her gaze lingers longer than reason allows, not in lust, not in curiosity, but in recognition. Because now, you are not just visible, you are familiar to the spirit before the mind can explain. There is something in you that has become undeniable, and it did not come from effort or appearance. It came from clarity within. It came from a long walk through fire without letting the flame consume you. The version of you that now walks the earth is no longer fragmented. You are integrated, you are settled, and that inner coherence shows up in the details, the calm of your presence, the gravity in your steps, the effortless discipline in your words. Your high sexual energy, once chaotic and misunderstood, has become ordered electricity. It hums through you with purpose now. It doesn't erupt, it flows. It doesn't scream, it resonates. And because of that, your beauty is no longer just physical, it is evidence. Evidence of what God can do when a man stops wasting himself and begins becoming himself. And so now, as women encounter you, something ancient happens in them. Their eyes, designed to navigate chaos, suddenly find rest. Their bodies, trained to brace for danger, unexpectedly soften. Their thoughts slow, their breath returns to rhythm, because they are not simply seeing you, they are feeling seen through you. They may not have the words. They may say things like, there's something different about you, or you're easy to be around, or simply look at you and smile without knowing why. But behind those words, behind that smile, their spirit is whispering, I've been waiting to see a man like this. A man whose beauty doesn't demand attention, but commands peace. A man who is not dressed in performance, but clothed in presence. A man whose strength doesn't threaten, but makes space for softness to return. You will begin to notice how women behave around you, the way they glance again, not in flirtation, but in awe. The way they lean toward your energy without knowing they've done it. The way they remember the way you looked at them long after you've left. This is not because you were charming, it is because you were clear. Chosen one, the world is filled with distraction and pretense. But your presence now cuts through that. Your beauty is not a mask, it is the truth finally resting on your skin. And women can see that truth, not because they are looking, but because their spirit recognizes its own answer in you. You are now someone whose face is remembered, not for symmetry, but for safety, for steadiness, for something they thought was gone from the earth. And when they look at you, they don't just see a man, they see what they prayed for in moments they thought no one heard. Their eyes see because their soul already knows. And that chosen one is the kind of beauty no mirror can hold. Chosen one, what has begun to radiate from you this month is no longer about attraction. It is about assignment. God has taken what the world tried to twist, your fire, your passion, your magnetic essence, and instead of letting it be reduced to indulgence, He has anointed it as a vessel for purpose. You are no longer just beautiful to be admired. You are beautiful to reveal God's design in motion. Your face, your frame, your presence, It is now a canvas of redemption. Not because you are flawless, but because you have become a man who carries the sacred without dropping it. Women feel it, not as a performance, but as evidence. Your beauty now carries weight. It tells a story, it shows the cost, and it points upward, always upward, reminding those around you that God finishes what He starts. There is a reason He didn't let your glow come early. There is a reason your radiance didn't rise when your ego wanted it to. He waited until your roots were deep, until your heart was clean, until your soul had passed the tests no one clapped for. And now He lets the world see, not to make you famous, but to make His process undeniable.